Hi, and welcome back to Wicked Wands Tarot. My name is Carmen, and today we've got a reading for you about somebody who may have been holding back in terms of telling you some information because of their morals, maybe even standards or a contract they signed. There's something here that they felt they had to, an obligation, if you will, that they had to fulfill, but their loyalties have changed. So this could be somebody who is no longer employed by the same people. This could be somebody who is no longer friends with someone that you knew they were friends with, or even a relationship that has ended. But I feel like you're going to get a better understanding of what actually happened because of this person's loyalty shifting as it has. So let's call in spirit with a little bit of Winchenta. And I hope you're having a wonderful day so far. If you'd like a personal reading, I would love to do one for you. My email address is wickedwandstarot@gmail.com. It's in the description box below. And also right below that, you can find out how to get additional content from my channel. There's additional videos, shorts, ad-free live stream later this week. It's a lot of fun. Oh, 18 plus readings. Hello, Goddess of Love. How are you? Hello, Bitchy Tata. What's going on? Let's dive in and get some more information from What's the News. What else do we have? Hey, Third Eye. How are you doing? Memories, missing someone, regression, revisiting the past, love bombing, overly attentive, showered with affection for personal gain. We have a change in loyalties because someone has been honest with themselves that they were dealing with a manipulative individual, and that had kind of dictated how they maneuvered within a social community. This dirty money card keeps coming out. I don't like that. Dirty money along with the numbing card, which also says self-medicating, addictions, and irrational behavior. I do feel like we've got somebody with a substance abuse problem that has been stealing. And this has potentially changed someone's loyalty, right? I was trying to help you out, or I was, wanting to be a good friend, or I wanted to be a supportive partner. But if you're going to lie or if you're going to do this, then I can't do that. So if anyone out there is willing to add a 1-800 number for those that are dealing with substance abuse, I would really appreciate that in the comments. But I will try to remember to come back with that. I want to be very clear that those that go through this kind of thing, there are ways to push forward and start a new life. But this particular reading seems to be somebody changing their loyalties because they're fed up with a person who has chosen their addiction over the friendship or relationship or business. Hello, Thor. How are you doing? Hello, James. How's it going? Hey, Steven. Thank you. So we've got sippin', nosy, spreading rumors, gossiping, and sneaky link. Hidden lover, low-key situationship, and side piece. I think this is what you're getting the truth about. There was a third party or side piece situation, and because of loyalties to someone they no longer really seem to be friends with, or they're not dating anymore, we've got somebody who is telling you everything. For some of you, there's a person who expects you to tell the entire story because they feel like your life changing recently means now they should be able to ask you all the questions. So take the reading how it resonates. But we've got the Knight of Swords in the reverse, Knight of Pentacles in the reverse, and the Chariot. Yeah. Things are changing, and I feel like a little bit impulsively. So we have some anger, some pressure. People feel there could be somebody who has to move with very little notice, but there's a desire to, I think, like reconnect with a social, like a friend or a coworker, and say, here's what happened. I didn't feel like I could tell you before, but here's the truth. Hello, Juliet. How are you doing? What else do we have? 5 of Wands in the reverse, 2 of Wands in the reverse, and Lovers. Now that I am honest with myself, or now that I'm really like thinking about what's been going on, I can see that I made the wrong choice. This is someone saying I was guarding a secret that I shouldn't have, or I was justifying something that I shouldn't have. The loyalties changing is the reason why there's information being shared. For a small percentage of you, you have information or like a message coming from a romantic rival. 9 of Cups in the reverse, 5 of Swords in the reverse, 4 of Wands. I think we've got an apology. I'm sorry for thinking this was more important, or I'm sorry that I didn't tell you this sooner. I feel like, I had the wrong impression. Page of Wands in the reverse. But I think they also see very clearly that they can trust you. That's why they're okay with this information being trusted to you. Ace of Wands. Kind of curious how you feel about this, though. You might be kind of irritated with this person. Oh no. We've got the Knight of Wands and the High Priestess. 6 of Pentacles in the reverse. And the 6 of Pentacles in the reverse, clarifying the 4 of Wands, makes me feel like there is like I promoted someone when I shouldn't have, or I took someone seriously. I believed someone when I shouldn't have. I put somebody on a little bit of a pedestal, perhaps. But the High Priestess is secrecy. We have a desire to keep things kind of hush-hush. I didn't want to be honest about what was really going on, but now I feel like I have to. 3 of Wands, the Sun, King of Swords in the reverse, 7 of Cups in the reverse. This person's telling you the whole story. I think you're going to be a little bit shocked at some of the things this person says. And I also feel like this is someone who's going to say, I'm sorry, I kind of lied to you about this, or I wasn't honest with you about that, but now I'm going to be. Clarity, enlightenment over something in the past that was left kind of secret, or didn't really feel like you needed to know, so I didn't tell you. The World, Justice in the reverse, 2 of Pentacles. This is like somebody who waited until things were better, waited until they had made change, moved, or ended a relationship. There's things they've addressed without really telling many people what was going on. So I do feel like there was an attempt to make someone look like a better person, and then finding out they were actually pretty disrespectful, and then removing yourself from that situation, right? I'm not going to be in this relationship anymore. I'm not going to stay living here. I'm not going to continue to work here. This is someone telling you what really happened and just how bad it really got, because in the thick of it, they didn't really feel like they could tell anyone. The Fool, Seven of Pentacles, and the Four of Swords in the reverse. This is someone who went through a really difficult time, like on their own. And they're apologizing in part because they feel like they should have let you know a little bit about what was going on. And you may have felt like they were not interested in getting, FaceTime with you. Maybe they didn't really seek out opportunities to meet for lunch, or maybe they didn't give 100% to a relationship, whatever it was. This is like, I'm sorry, I was really dealing with a lot. Hey, Vero, how are you doing? Hello, Co-Create. How's your day going? Let's see. What do I want? We'll go with the Nightmare Before Christmas. Hey, hey, Key Controller, how are you doing? All right, what else do we have? Temperance and the Devil. Wild. Generally speaking, these two cards are seen as kind of opposites, right? Because one is an angel and one is the devil. Yeah, this is looking more and more to me like somebody was close friends with, or in a romantic relationship with somebody, and they were constantly trying to make it seem like that person was a better person than they actually were. Lies to cover up what they were actually doing or what actually happened in between them. But now this temperance individual is saying, okay, actually, here's what really happened. I'll give you the details. I don't feel like I have to be quiet about it anymore. I don't feel like I have to pretend anymore. Knight of Presents or Knight of Pentacles in the reverse. 8 of Needles or 8 of Swords, and the 5 of Presents or 5 of Pentacles. Yeah. This is like somebody's freed from an NDA or freed from feeling like they have to do right by someone else. I don't have to worry about starting an argument if I tell you what's really going on or what really happened. So here's the details. This could even be somebody who's writing a tell-all book, to be honest. Oh, and the King of Candles comes out after I say that. Yeah. I'm going to just say there is a little bit of risk here that somebody is telling their story and exaggerating it just a little bit. Queen of Potions in the reverse, which is the Queen of Cups. The Hermit. And the Moon in the reverse. Yeah. And this is if I tell you what really happened, you probably won't believe me, but here's what really happened. This person was manipulative. This person lied to me, or this person promised me this and then broke their promise. This is, I don't like this person. They only think about themselves. Why do I feel like this is an interview? 7 of Needles or 7 of Swords in the reverse. And the Tower. Strength. I really do feel like this is somebody who feels like if this is done, if this isn't my, partner anymore, then I'm going to tell everybody what really happened. No more pretending that they were great. No more pretending that, they have no issues. I'm going to tell everyone what was going on, and they might want some attention for it. All right, let's see. This is the signs of the times. Thank you, Pharaoh. I appreciate you. What else do we have? Yin and Yang balance, number 4. Number 13, medical staff, healing. I mean, the thing is, I do think there's a need for the two individuals to no longer be together, but there is also a little bit more accountability on the person who's like being interviewed or talking about this. I feel like they're maybe making it all seem like it's the other person, or maybe they just need to like take a little bit more credit for things. We've got power lines, energy, water, surrender, number 36 and number 39. In other words, I do feel like this is a little bit petty. I do think we have somebody that's maybe trying to make a situation seem a certain way for attention. Hello, Tina. How are you doing? Hello, Jim. What's going on? Let's get a few from... This is the Everyday Tarot. What else do we have? Four of Wands in the reverse. High Priestess. Yeah, this is a tell-all. This is, okay, now that I'm not married, now that I'm not in this relationship, I can tell you everything. What do you want to know? Ask your questions. I'll answer. Oh, Lord. Queen of Swords. No, sorry, Justice. They look very similar. And Three of Swords. Ooh. This is giving kind of like not great energy. We have to like be a little bit cautious when we listen to stories from people that are clearly still in some sort of heartache. There is a desire to make somebody look a little bit worse than they actually did. King of Cups. Knight of Wands. What's coming through for me, honestly, is a desire to make somebody look like they were the only problem when this High Priestess energy doesn't seem to want to admit that there were problems that both people contributed to the situation. World in the reverse. Oh, well. Okay, so what I'm seeing is we have one person, they put their story out there. Maybe it's, putting it on social media. Maybe it's being interviewed by a local paper. Whatever it is, they tell their story and they're like, here's what happened. And it was like that person's fault. And they feel like they have some level of like, I don't know, people are engaging or people are excited. People want to know what the story is. And they feel like they've got some points now because they told their side of the story. They're not expecting the other person to come out with their own story. That's when things get really wild. I don't think they anticipated that other people have social media or other people could get interviewed. So now we have the ex coming out to talk about the High Priestess. The eternal question. Nine of Wands, Six of Pentacles in the reverse, Judgment in the reverse. Yeah, see, the thing is like if this had been just truth telling, I feel the second person wouldn't feel the need to come out and, correct or speak on the matter. But because somebody is exaggerating or making things look worse, this is like someone saying, okay, well, since this is like out there, how about I just tell you what really happened? Secondhand embarrassment. King of Pentacles, the World, and the reverse. Three of Swords. Two different sides to the same story about an ending or something that was not really happy for two people, but the World is in the reverse because there's still hurt and pain, probably a little bit of love. That means it's difficult for these two to actually like disconnect. In other words, if you tell me that you are over your ex, but you still kind of go out of your way to talk about them, I'm going to tell you, no, you're not over your ex. It's different if somebody's like asking you specific questions. You know the difference between when you're volunteering information versus when somebody's asking for it, right? We got Emperor in the reverse and the Four of Swords and the Three of Cups. So this is like, there's, oh gosh, this is going to break out into some like big scandal. Because I feel like there's another person who's like, wait. So this person said this and then they said this, but like I have an opinion too. And I was there, or I saw it. It's going to get all confusing. It's like I'm listening to a shouting match at like someone's family reunion after everybody's had like a bottle of champagne to themselves. Ooh. I feel whoever I'm reading for, you're just like, I just want to have like some time away from all of this. Ace of Pentacles. Nine of Pentacles in the reverse. It's like, maybe these two are both like influencers or something. I don't know. But this is like, I have to be seen as the winner. Thank you, James. Oh, I hope work goes well. This is like, I have to be seen as the winner. If we broke up or if this relationship ended and I know people are going to ask what happened, then I have to make sure that I'm seen as like, the one that has the glove. This is very like versus, right? Like very petty. Page of Swords. So I'll tell my story first. Hierophant in the reverse about what happened to end the relationship. But I didn't expect anybody else to comment on it. I didn't expect anybody else to have their, version of the story. I expected everyone to just kind of believe me in terms of what I said happened. But like, what universe are you from where if you talk about a situation like a breakup, especially if you have some level of fame, that people are just going to be like, oh, that makes sense. And nobody's going to criticize or like contradict you. That doesn't make sense. Yeah, I think that's fair. Let's get a few from the, well, no, actually, I think I want the Kipper. Because this could be something that even goes to court, because we did have the Justice card come out. Oh no. We've got Concern in the reverse. Official person. Privileged lady in coffin. Oh, yeah. Okay, so this is looking to me like we have somebody who wants to claim some sort of place in society because they did at one time have a connection to somebody who's seen as quite powerful or important. And this is the person that they are exposing, right? This person makes money in ways they shouldn't, or they spend money they shouldn't do it that way. They like substances, whatever it is. This person who's talking about the official person, what did I call you again? The High Priestess? I don't think the High Priestess expects the official person to come back with their own side of the story, but when they do, I feel like they kind of, I don't know, like this. I'm hearing they kind of bury this person. I don't think it's literally somebody is passing away. I think it's literally just you started this war, you started this conversation, you wanted people to look at me a certain way. Well, I'm going to tell my side of the story, and when people see what you did, don't come crying to me. Oh, okay. Ew. There could be like a defamation lawsuit here. There could be, okay, you did that. Now that means you don't get to have any kind of like alimony. There are consequences for this high priestess, the person who's like gossiping or sharing information. And I feel like it's kind of in a petty way. And they didn't expect these consequences. They felt like they could just like exaggerate or, tell their story and everything would go well for them. They may be looking to try to like kind of monetize their socials, maybe. We've got portal, originality, idealism, progression, opening, and accessing. So this is like, oh, this is my opportunity to like differentiate myself or like make my own brand. We have the stand, number 40, courage, determination, and fearlessness. But the official person who's being spoken about has just as much determination to make sure that their reputation is protected. So when there are lies out there, I do feel like the receipts that they have help kind of back their story. We literally might have somebody having consequences, like legal consequences because of defamation. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there are actual consequences to those things, right? All right, so let's get a few from the Fairy Lenormand. What else do we have? Number 10, the Scythe. And number 31, the Sun. I smiled because this is, at least for Americans anyways, the date for Halloween, and I love Halloween, 10/31. But this is also saying we've got somebody who knows what they need to address, what they need to set aside in order for them to be happy. And I feel like they've done so, but I don't think this is the High Priestess energy. I feel like this is somebody saying, I was the one who ended the relationship, and they're trying to spin it and make it seem like they left me. This is so, I don't know, you guys. I might have to go make some popcorn. Did we go for this yet? This is the truth is, because yeah, we need the truth. What is going on here? It does seem like we've got like pretty desperate attempt to control the narrative, but it seems like our what are we calling you? The official person, like they actually have receipts, whereas the High Priestess was hoping if I tell my story first, then people are going to listen to me. Filing papers, divorce or separation in the near future. I feel like this is a conversation about why did the relationship end and who ended the relationship. I think we had somebody who was trying to make it seem like everything was going better, and then, it fell apart, and they're trying to make it seem like that official person misses them, or trying to make it seem like they ended the relationship when they didn't. This person, the High Priestess, really seems to be focused on like winners and losers in a relationship, which is just like kind of a lame way of looking at it, if you ask me. Thank you, Farah. I appreciate you. This is the Crow Tarot. We have the Fool and the Reverse. I think we have receipts that end up making this High Priestess regret what they said. And it could be in the context of a courtroom where now they have to basically deal with some legal consequences because they were so intent on controlling the narrative. They didn't really stop to wonder whether or not there could be some problems with how they were telling their story. especially if they were trying to print a book or like spread this on like national news. Knight of Pentacles in the reverse and the King of Wands. Yeah, we've got somebody exerting their power, and I feel like it's because they've got proof. Here's what you said I did. Here's what actually happened. So I'm suing you. Could be a cease and desist. Queen of Cups, Four of Swords in the reverse, Ace of Swords. I feel like there's a kind offer, right? A patient offer. It's like, hey, if you address the lies that you told in a public way and you let everybody know that you actually just exaggerated it because you wanted to make somebody else look bad, then I won't press any charges, or you won't have to pay any kind of settlement. But if you don't clear up that confusion that you started, then I will make sure you regret not taking that deal. This is a little bit of a threat, but it's because somebody is lying, making this official person look worse, exaggerating things. Page of Wands in the reverse. Correct it or I will. And you won't like how I correct it. Don't get on this person's bad side. Dang. So we've got Page of Wands in the reverse, the Hierophant, Death, and the Eight of Cups. This is somebody who's well connected. This is someone who has a reputation they need to protect. Like I said, this could be, kind of like social media or like influencers or people who have some level of power. But we have Death and Eight of Cups. I think we have somebody who retreats. They're like, okay, you're right. I made it up. I shouldn't have exaggerated. I shouldn't have tried to make it look like you did this or said that. And since you're like clearly serious, I will back away. So they put the cookie back in the cookie jar because they got caught. All right, let's see. This is the Zodiac fortune telling cards. What else? A false friend, beware. You are one who stands by a person who needs you. And you have or will receive unexpected pleasure. So definitely feels like there's some truth coming out with people who are pretending, whether that's talking about other people or pretending who they are. But your ability to be supportive to those that need it is coming back as far as like good karma. That's why there's this unexpected pleasure for you. Now I'm hearing that double mint commercial. All right, I'm going to leave it there. I love you all. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you on the next reading. Toodles.